Guys, I'm here with my daughter, Danielle D'Souza Gill. She's in town, actually, well, for Thanksgiving. And it's really fun to be in studio with her. And so, Danielle, let's talk a little bit about this business. Yale Law School, a prominent judge, James Ho, says, I'm not going to hire any more clerks from Yale Law School because they're regularly suppressing free speech. In fact, there was an event in which a conservative speaker, this is Kristen Waggoner of the Alliance Defending Freedom, was there to speak at Yale. The students began to shout and scream and prevent her from speaking. There was a dean of Yale in the audience who did nothing even to ask them to quiet down. And then later, the dean of the law school, this is Heather Gerken, said no action would be taken against any of the students. And so this judge has mentioned that incident and others, and he goes, listen, I don't really want to punish the students, but I want to punish Yale. I like what he says here. He goes, I don't want to cancel Yale. I want Yale to stop canceling people like me. So, and now if it was just him, it'd be one thing, but other judges have joined in, and Yale is having a freak out.
Yeah, that is good because Yale should not be able to get away with this. And the reason they get away with it is because people continue to hire them. That's the main reason these students want to go to schools like this. It's so that they get these Supreme Court clerkships. It's so that they get good jobs afterwards. So if more judges like him say, we don't want to hire these students, these graduates, then Yale is not going to like that because they will not be able to supply those jobs for some of those students. So if other judges are doing the same thing, that will hurt Yale overall.
This is a key point. I think the point you're making is it is important to exercise power in a way that makes an actual difference. I mean, so often people will come up to us after movies. I'm not going to renew my subscription to Disney Plus. I'm not going to shop in Target. And those are small gestures. But see, here's a judge who knows that the reason Yale has all this prestige is that you can go on to lucrative careers in the law, or you can get academic appointments, and judgeships are important. So he's withholding from Yale something that matters to them. The other thing is he could have said, I'm going to not hire from any woke law school. And the problem with that is then he would basically be casting his brush very widely. But I think he decided, let me pick the worst one and spank them and say in effect that Harvard and Stanford and other schools will benefit at your expense, and young kids will no longer want to go to Yale Law School. So let's look at this. So here's the dean, Heather Gerken. First of all, they appear to have fired the dean who was present in the room and said nothing. That's number one. They didn't say she's fired. They just go, she's no longer at Yale, but she's out. Number two, they've invited Judge James Ho and another judge who said she wasn't going to hire from Yale either to come speak at Yale. So to me, this is an academic institution in retreat, and it's actually a nice thing to watch.
Right. It is good that they're doing that, but also hopefully it's not just a temporary Band-Aid response because this guy is making some kind of an impact on them. Hopefully they actually stay strong in that, because otherwise they'll just go right back to doing what they were doing and canceling other speakers and not letting them talk and heckling them. So I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Well, the good thing is, so these Ho and Branch, the two judges, have issued a statement, and they go, Yale Law School is among the worst when it comes to legal cancellation, and referring even to the recent reforms and the invitation to them to speak, they go, perhaps this is nothing more than parchment promises. So the good thing is these judges are like on to this institution. They know how they engage in these little pirouettes to kind of make the criticism dissipate, and then they go right back to their business. I think what the judges are saying is, we're on to you, and we're going to start creating a judicial movement to block you if you keep this up. So this is the kind of institutional pushback that really makes itself felt, and it's good to see.
Yeah, especially when the other judges decide that they're going to do the same thing, because of course they're going to be subject to feeling intimidated or like they should back down. But if they all stand together, then they'll probably make a big difference.
I mean, some of these judges say that they are behind these two guys, but they're doing it anonymously. But see, that's powerful too, because then it's like you don't know which judge is not going to hire you because you're applying from Yale. And there are people who've made criticisms and said things like, well, you know, this is really not punishing Yale. You're punishing students who don't really have any. But look, a lot of these woke students are in on it. They are, in fact, driving the culture of intolerance. So it's not as if the Yale students are immune.
Right. Most students at Yale are pretty woke.
It's it may be the most woke school in the country, or certainly one of the worst ones. Look, this wokeness is here to stay. It's not going away anytime soon. Quite frankly, you know, I don't know where it's all going to end, but I'm just glad to see that there is some institutional pushback, and I hope that it makes a difference.